Hey, and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to sit with you mamas today and talk about what does it look like to be a mama of honor? What does this word honor mean? How do we navigate this? So if you'd like to hear more, grab your beverage and let's get started. Are you new to the channel? Did you hit that play button for the very first time? Well, welcome to the channel. I am so glad that you're here. I'm Tasha. This is Tasha Pivots, where we talk about all things mamahood and homeschool and how I'm pivoting through this journey. And I've been sitting with this word honor, y'all, for a while. And after having this really profound conversation with a family member, we were talking about our children honoring us. I just felt the Lord like pull my strings and say, what does it look like to be a mama of honor? And so first testimony, gotta share with you for a minute because y'all are my community and I always gotta share when there's a good thing happening. And that is my writer's brain is back, y'all. So for the month of March, I really struggled with my anemia and it really took me out. Like I had no energy, I couldn't read, I couldn't retain what I was reading, and I couldn't write. Like I just had no thought process. I was just exhausted. And I can say today we're doing great. My writing brain is back. And why I say that is because today's video is also synced with my Spoonful of Hope post with the same title, Mama of Honor, where I just felt the Lord just share and download and flow through me into this beautiful subject and this topic of being a mama of honor. So you can check that out over on tashapivots.com under the Spoonful of Hope tab. It is there right now, so you can check that out after this video. Also, I want to let all my Lowlyville mamas know that there is some new content over on our member site where you can check it out. I've got some videos there, help you navigate how to utilize the areas in our little hub, and also to encourage you to schedule what your time frame is for our first Zoom, because we're gonna see each other. Yes, our first covering. I'm so excited. So if you would like to check that out, head on over. Also, if you're like, what is she talking about? There's a lot of things I don't know nothing about. Lowlyville is a mama community created by mamas for mamas. It was a call on my heart from the Lord, really because my journey as a mama walked through a lot of loneliness and isolation and insecurity, and I struggled, and I didn't have anyone side by side linking arms with me saying, you got this, girl, we're gonna walk with you through it. And I just felt the Lord at this time, this divine moment, it was time for me to go ahead and open that out for everyone else. So that if you are in a place where you are looking for community, then Lowlyville might be there for you. Please go check that out. It's under tashapivots.com as well. You can find all the links in the description below, always on my videos. Okay, let's get on this topic, y'all. So, Mama of Honor. For me, I had to be honest with myself and figure out, like, what do I think honor means? Like, what is my association with honor? And the first thing the thought came to my head is like, it's something I need to do a few things before I can have it. When I think of like award shows or even like a business, when they're honoring someone, it's because they've done something. They've got some accolades under their belt. They've achieved something. And I love that we serve a God that doesn't think like us and doesn't speak like us, because as I was processing those thoughts, the Lord just kind of like gave me this beautiful definition of what he would say, like I felt that he was saying to me when it comes to what a mama of honor is. And I'm going to read it to you. It's a little excerpt from my Spoonful of Post. And it says, a mama of honor is a woman of integral grace and recognition. Her value is not a representation of societal acceptance, but an imprint stamped by God to be a living, walking, and breathing reflection of his presence. Ooh, y'all, I wrote that and I was like, ooh, that didn't come from me. That came from the Lord. I can't take no credit. Not taking no credit. It's all for my good and for his glory. So, yeah, I love that because it was like God carrying me and removing this idea of what I thought honor is in his eyes as me as a mama, and I want to share that with you guys today. So I sat with this for a little bit more, and then as I began to write, the Lord revealed like so many things, and I came up with 3 areas that I feel can really help us navigate when it comes to being a mama of honor, and that is recognition, energy, and validity. And so I'm going to do a little excerpt of each one, but if you want to see more or read more on what what the Lord gave to me in that and in writing that post, you can check it out over on my website. So recognition, okay? In order for us as mamas to be a mama of honor, we need to first recognize who are we. And in order to figure out who we are, we've got to go to the source. We got to go to who created us, right? And there's this question that popped in with me when I was thinking about recognizing what does it look like to be a mama of honor? What does it mean to be a mama that is honorable with her children and the way she leads in life and how she walks in her everyday life? And I had to ask God a question, and I beg to ask you to ask him the same question. And it is, I want to know you deeper. And in order to know you deeper, I then will know who I am. And it shifted everything. Just to know that, like, I can never understand who I am in its entirety of who I am if I don't know who created me and I don't know him. And to know him gets to, then there's this reflection of like, I get to know me. And so that was the first part, recognizing who is God and who is he to me, but who is he just because, without me in it? What does his word say? What does he say? Like, I need a direct call. Hello. And having conversation with God. And so my prayer life has to deepen, because if I'm having more deepening meditation and prayer with the Lord, then there is that alignment, right? So there's that. Second one is energy. Now, I want to be careful with how I use this word, because I don't want anyone thinking I'm pulling energy from sources. There's only one source in my world and in my heart, in my mind, and that's God. I don't believe in all of the other things, and I tread lightly with those things because that might be the truth for someone else, but it is not the truth here over at Tasha Pivots. But energy, when I say that, I'm talking about the physical energy you are dispensing into your interior and your exterior self. Now, we can sometimes get so busy and with how we look on the outside, but the inside we're just crashing down, or vice versa. We can be really, really putting a lot of energy on how we're doing internally, how we're healing, how our mental health is doing, how our physical, like our internal body, like what we're feeding it, how we're, healing it on the inside. But then it's not coming out on the outside. We're doing our gratitude list every week. We're doing we're eating our vegetables, we're drinking our water, we're doing all these things that are helping our internal selves. We're making sure that we're taking the time to leave space for our brains to shut down and not be on social media or not be so consumed with the news. All these things that we think we're doing that is healing us, but then on the outside, we still have a short temper. Our facial expressions are still all over the place when we get offended. And so I was thinking about this, and I love how I was reading a book. I've talked about this book a billion times now. You guys are probably sick of it, but Gentle and Lowly, there's this passage in there where they talk about, like, if Jesus was in 2021, well, in my mind, 2021, they were talking about just in general, like present day. And I laughed out loud, but then I took it a step further, even in my blog today. I said, the Lord would have never, like, Jesus would have never been that guy that everyone like, girl, did you see Jesus the other day? Did you see him in his sandals, girl? I'm going to need to get some of those this summer. No. But what we do remember about Jesus is how when there was a person that touched his garment, and how before he could even feel, he knew that they were there and they were healed. The way he could see a person and see their heart, see their soul, and see what, no matter how much shame, no matter how many skeletons they have, he saw them. And so how is us as Mama of Honor is putting in the energy to make sure that when we are working on ourselves, that we're also recognizing like how much more are we being like the Lord and how we look at people, how we see our children, and how our children see us. Because even though we're doing something on the inside, if it's not showing on the outside, it doesn't really matter. The work is almost null and void, right? Like it's not completely, like it's great that you're doing that, but on the outside, we have to start living it, right? We have to start putting the energy in the way we live to match what we feel in our heart. Thirdly, validity. Now, validity is basically being authentic, which that is a very catchy word in this time frame. Everything is intentional and authentic, right? And I love those. Those are words that I gravitate to. I love me some real. But when we want to live that life, we then have to recognize that even though our life looks like we've picked up a lot of baggage along the way, we've picked up the baggage of like whatever's going on with our children, if they're not responding well to us, or they're not responding well to the outside world, or they're not responding well to the curriculum that they're doing, or we pick up the weight of the world and what's happening outside our walls that we literally have no control over, but we still are carrying them on like extra layers of clothes. But then we let that bog us down and make us shrink. And so I was talking about this in my Spoonful of Hope post of just like what it would look like, my love and hate relationship with being introverted. And I was an only child. I love silence. I am perfectly fine all by myself. But I recognize that even though I'm okay that way, that's not the way God intended me to live my life, right? And so I want us to be reminded to live and be a Mama of Honor, that we are storytellers. And not just, oh, we pick up our books and we read to our kids. No, your story is important. Your story is going to change lives. And no matter how big, how small, how simple, how crazy, how all over the place that it is, let us not be so easily felt like we need to isolate and we need to shrink ourselves in order to live our lives, because we're basically living out of fear. And I think about Jesus and I think about how like he never shrank. He never walked in shame. Yes, it was all projected at him, but that's not who he was, right? Or who he is. And so for like us, as Mamas of Honor, we're going to wear our badge clean. We're going to wear our baggage and say, you know what? Yes, those things that happened to us were hard, but it made me stronger. It made me be able to see and have wisdom now for the things that I want to make sure that does not happen, or give the right tools of wisdom to my children so that they don't have to repeat the same story. And even if they do, I'm there with them because I know what it feels like. So share your story. Share your story with your children. Share your story with people. Don't be so scared and in fear of what your story may make someone else feel. That's not our responsibility to carry what other people feel. Our responsibility is just to live our lives in the reflection of God. We're his living, walking, breathing presence here on earth. And so just like his story is told to us every single day, our children see the way our story is being written, but then there's parts of us that if we are too confined not to share it, or even in community, let's not be afraid of like, if I share this, will all the moms, like this is not we need to be in a clique, or we need to feel like we are a part of an elite group. We are a part of an elite group as Christians and as believers of God, but at the end of the day, like our whole part, I love that Jesus would see us. He sees you. And so we need to see each other. So I hope that this has all been encouraging to you as a mama and like myself, who just wants to live her life in honor of God and in honor of the children that God has blessed me with. And so if you like to know more, you have questions, or you want to just talk about it, or you need prayer, reach out to me. You can always email me, and I would love to pray for you and talk with you. I thank you for hanging out with me today. Please give this video a warm thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And until next time, I'll see you guys on the next video. I'll talk to you later. Bye.